Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce the President of the Board of Directors, Maria DeFebo Edwards.
So not being an actor, I'm going to have to read some of this. Bear with me. Welcome, everyone, to Civic's grand reopening and the opening night performance of Billy Elliot the Musical. It's a glorious evening for Civic and for our community as we celebrate the rebirth of our beloved 19th Street home. Years of dreaming, planning, and an incredible amount of work have led to this celebration. This is truly a dream come true. I know all of us have a personal memory or two of this very special place tucked into our hearts. Some memories go back several generations. Tonight I watched expressions of surprise and amazement as you entered this restored and renovated theater for the first time since we closed in January. I heard stunning, light-filled, welcoming. What a gem. I can't believe it. Remarkable. And I noticed a tear in many an eye. Our purpose in this once-of-a-lifetime endeavor has always been to ensure this sacred space will be here for our children, our grandchildren, and for generations to come. My wish and hope for all of you is that you leave here tonight with a very special memory of Civic. Thank you for all your support and for celebrating our grand reopening with our community. I look forward to your future support as we embark on phase 3 of our renovations. We have capital campaign brochures available, or you can speak to any of the co-chairs, staff, or me about the remaining work to be done. Enjoy Billy Elliot the Musical and join us after the play for our grand reopening reception at the concession stand in the patron lounge and with the actors in Theater 514. Now I would like to introduce Greg Butz and Jane Heft, two of our capital campaign co-chairs. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria. What do you guys think of this place? Look at that ceiling, pretty cool. How do those new seats feel? You don't have any springs sticking in your rear end anymore. I'm really honored to be co-chairing the Capital Campaign. The Civic Theater is a very important cultural institution in the Lehigh Valley. It very much deserves our support. That's why Alvin H. Butz Incorporated has made a significant contribution, because how strongly we feel about this place. So we hope you continue to come back and support Civic Theater. It's a really important place. I'll turn it over to Jane.
Hi. So my part in this production is to talk about thanking all our donors and for everybody that's made this possible. First of all, spearheaded by Dr. Barry and Sharon Glassman, and then with the major help of Senator Pat Brown and the Common Health, really kicked off this this whole restoration. And then jumping on board the Century Fund, Homer Foundation, and Trexler Trust, and then probably one of the biggest things that you see around is the Butz family and the work that they've done to create this beautiful restoration. But the one thing that we're doing differently, more than our typical standing ovations for the actors on stage and everybody that's brought all that, we've created a way to formally and forever recognize our donors and the people that made this possible. So you'll see when you walked into the lobby, there's a beautiful new donor wall that recognizes everybody that's contributed, and then also on plaques and the posters throughout. But beyond giving to that, and the capital campaign is just about finished, but we still have the Children's Theater School that we have to work on. And that's really to continue educating these people that grace the stage here. So we have a $500,000 campaign to finish off the theater. And then also, surprisingly, I think we only have about 30 seats left in our seat naming campaign, so almost all the seats are sold, which is awesome. Thank you, thanks. So, to everybody, we just want to thank you from the Capital Campaign Committee, from the Senator, from the Glassmans, from the full staff and support at Civic Theater. We want to thank you, and for everybody's caring and generosity. Thank you. I'd now like to, one of the spearheads, introduce Dr. Barry Glassman.
In 1928, a set of architects by the name of Thalhammer and Weitz started building a series of theaters. They're from Philadelphia. They built a series of theaters. They started here with the 19th Street Theater and built 11 other theaters in Philadelphia and in South Jersey. All of them ornate, all of them beautiful, all of them, most of them of the Art Deco era. It's now 2018, and one theater exists. So what happened to the other theaters? Well, one is a dollar store, one is a general store, one was ripped down and is now an area for a water slide in Wildwood, New Jersey. And this one has been restored to its original glory for so many reasons, because there's so much more than what the others were, which was a one-screen movie house. When we decided that in order to have a housing that would be worth, that would give the value, increased value to the already high production value shows we were producing, in order to make sure that it was here for years to come, we needed to do a restoration. So the first thing we had to do was find an architect. And this couldn't be a normal architect. This had to be somebody who knew how to unbelievably design a 2018 functional theater in a 1928 building. And when I tell you the challenges were many, they were, and our architects all absolutely came to the challenge, and you see the results. Our architects are here tonight. They're from Mills and Schnoring. There's Michael and Bob and Amy, and if you guys would stand and be recognized. The only advice I would give is if you happen to have a theater that needs restoration, I would consider them. Then we had to find a general contractor, and a general contractor had to be somebody who didn't just take the lowest bids, but took people who had the same heart and the same love for the project that they did. There is nobody that could have done this, organized and coordinated our 42 subs on a regular basis through the massive challenges that this building presented than the Alvin H. Butz Company. And Greg, where are you? Greg, if you would stand. There were 42 subs, there were many of them, and for the most part, obviously I can't name all of them, though they all are listed in your commemorative programs that are given out only tonight. But I would like to mention there's Manny is here from Bean, and Ben is here from Dugan and Markin, and Nick is here from Diefendorfer, incredible electricians. And who am I missing? Zach is here from dual temp, and there's a reason you're comfortable, and the air conditioning is warm, and even our actors have air conditioning, and I'd like them to stand and be recognized because they were fantastic. There were two reasons people didn't like coming to Civic. One was because the seats, you never knew exactly where you were going to be stimulated. Some people, well, never. And apparently that's going to keep some people away. But also because of our sound system. And you just couldn't plug in a sound system. We needed to do a full acoustical evaluation. We needed to understand why this 1928 building didn't produce good sound, duh. And we had someone come in and do that, and then create an incredible system that we are so proud of. And I've never seen two people work so hard and fine-tuning and making the system perfect so that everyone in every seat can hear everything. And Pete and Patrick are standing up in the back, and they need to be recognized. And finally, in order to do this, obviously we had to raise money, and we raised, and that was obviously a key part. We've raised $5 million of the 5.5. If anyone has an extra $500,000, please give me a call. I would appreciate that, but we're not done. We still have a lot of work to be done. There's more things to be done in the theater, which is amazing. There's going to be architectural lighting up those gorgeous murals in the back that have been restored, and there's several little things that still need to be done, and we're very excited about them. The stars, the ones that really came through amazingly for us, no surprise. Century Fund, Trexler Trust, and unbelievably, joining those people at that level, Alvin H. Butz. Thank you to them. In order to do that, we needed a steering committee. We had a steering committee with incredible co-chairs, Greg Butch, Jane Heft, who designed that donor wall out there that is absolutely gorgeous. My wife, Sharon Glassman, who is the driving force of Civic for 38 years as the president, and there's a reason we're still here so that we could reach this, and it is Sharon. In addition to that, we had two celebrity co-chairs. Christine couldn't make it, Christine Taylor, Stiller, but she sends her love to everyone here, and she obviously, as you all, many have heard, continues to have her heart here, though her her body's in California and New York and Hawaii. And Zachary Jandal, our other celebrity co-chair in the front, who has been tremendous and provided us a wonderful place to do our launch at Vault 634, even before it was restored to its current beauty. So thank you to them as well. There is one donor that I didn't mention, and I saved it for last. This could not have possibly ever taken place if it weren't for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania didn't call us and say, can we give you $2 million? It was the work of an incredible senator who was attended our children's theater school, is from this area, knows how important Civic is to the cultural life of the community. And I would like to now introduce the man who made this possible, Senator Charlie Dent, Pat Brown.
Thank you, Dr. Barry Brown. I just wanted to take an opportunity to congratulate the entire Civic family for this extraordinary renewal we all are experiencing for the first time this evening. This is only the second time I've been on this stage since I was 9 years old. And at that time, I had a purple shirt on, not a purple, orange shirt on with a black Ziggly line because I was playing Charlie Brown in Charlie Brown's Christmas. And I was overwhelmed then because for some reason a big crowd came out to see us. But I got to tell you, I am a lot more overwhelmed now. What the people saw when they came in here in 1928 is what we're seeing now, and it is absolutely extraordinary. You might be aware that this city at one time had 15 theaters, and we were known as the city of theaters. And they all had their separate character, their separate ornamentals, and there's only two that survive. One is on 6th Street, as you know, Civic Hall, and this one. And the reason why this survives is that people through the generations knew they had something special here. And all of you are continuing that legacy tonight. Just lastly, one thing I thought was absolutely extraordinary about, which I can't forget about this renovation, is Dr. Glassman took me through here and told me that the light bulbs underneath the glass up there have never been replaced. They are 90 years old and have never been replaced. That doesn't seem physically possible to me. Even as an accountant, I'm not in contracting, but what I think that symbolizes to all of us is the spirit of this institution has been alive for 90 years, and it will remain that way for generations to come because of the commitment of people in this room. Congratulations for all you've done. Have a great evening. And I have to bring back to the stage William Saunders, the art director for the Civic Theater. Thank you.
Thank you. I couldn't resist. They double dog dared me, so I had to. Now I have to get off of it. Thank you, Todd. Wow. I don't know what I can say to add to what they all said, but looking out here at all of these faces, many of whom have been part of productions and have been so important in making these shows happen, and as a friend of mine once said, making me look good. I'm overwhelmed by memories and people and the things that happened within these walls, and now these walls are absolutely glorious. And I thank all of you that are here and all of you who are no longer here, and all of you who are spread across the United States and the globe. They're part of our heart, because that's what Civic is about. It's about heart and joy and art and coming together to tell stories that hopefully move you and join us in our common humanity. Thank you. Thank you. I'm reminded of a moment in when we did Angels in America in 1997. We were one of the first theaters to do both parts in rep over 20 years ago, and it was a monumental undertaking, very much like what tonight's production is. Woo! But there is a poem that I shared with the company that is has inspired friends of my generation to start a theater company, and we used it in school, and I'd like to share it tonight to close before I introduce the next speaker. And it goes like this. "Come to the edge," he said. "It's too high," they replied. "Come to the edge," he said. "We might fall." Come to the edge. And they did. And he pushed them, and they flew. Thank you. And I am going to introduce a woman who is greatly responsible for a lot of the flight that has taken place at this theater. She was president of our board of directors for almost 40 years, which is unheard of because no one else would take the job. And she is an extraordinary friend, and I am very proud to introduce Sharon Lee Glassman.
For several summers, I was fortunate enough to attend Oxford University, where a certain don or professor introduced me to the philosophies of Joseph Campbell. He was obsessed with him. I then became quite a fan myself, especially of his theory on sacred spaces. He defined a sacred space as where you bring forth what you are and what you might be, where you can find yourself again and again. The home is a sacred space. When you have no place to go, they take you in. And love there is unconditional. The classroom is a sacred space where risks can be taken, mistakes made without judgment, as students negotiate the path to truth. To me, and to many, this theater is a sacred place. Here, all are welcome to contemplate what you might be and find yourself again and again. And tonight we celebrate the return to grandeur of this very sacred space. The most important part about a space is what takes place in it. The interactions that occur, friendships that are formed, characters that are molded, provoking thought, inspirational creativity. The history that crosses convention, concepts of time and space. Sitting in this audience are a number of people who each in his own way made this a sacred place, traveled on our journey to succeed in renovating this theater. There are many that I would just like, if you'll give me a moment, people that I feel have a connection. They breathe our air. We breathe the same thought. We love Civic Theater. I would like anyone who feels connected to Civic in that way, past or present, to please stand. Actors, actresses, staff, keep standing. Board members, volunteers, students, donors, patrons, and anyone else I missed. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You made this night possible. Within these walls, children flourish and film goers are elucidated. But tonight you're here to watch a play, one of many that have been directed by someone very special, a man whose work has transcended the space and always been excellent. From the first time I met Bill Sanders, I knew I was in the presence of a true artist. Over the years, I have watched him work miracles on this stage. His ability to get the best out of aspiring actors and actresses is remarkable. His profound knowledge of theater, in general, has allowed Civic to grow to an acclaimed place where people come to see excellent theater. His true artistic genius has infused every successful play he has touched. Tonight we are swelling with pride over this, but we are also swelling with pride to honor this man who spent 25 years creating magic on our stage. Please, Bill Sanders, stand up. We wish to honor you. Where is he? Oh, there. And now, what we've all been waiting for. Sit back, relax, and enjoy Billy Elliot.